So we spoke about data mapping for the last couple of days. And in this video, we are going to talk about its relationship with consent management, because consent management is another very, very key aspect of handling personal data and data privacy. Welcome to my YouTube channel where you daily see new content on data privacy. So let's talk about understanding the role of consent management and data mapping working together. Data mapping, we've been talking about identifying, categorizing, tracking what data we have, right? That's a generic term because we are talking in terms of privacy. So we'll make it identifying, categorizing, and tracking what personal data we have and how does it move around in our organization. How does it get collected? Where does it go? Who processes it? Who documents where it is? Who maintains its retention? How is the retention and deletion maintained? Right? Everything. And helps us to understand this entire collection, storage, processing, sharing, and deletion process. Then we come to consent management. What is consent management? You want to use my personal data, you come to me and you seek my permission. Sir, can I use your personal data? I would ask you, why do you need it? And you tell me the purpose. If I'm satisfied, I'll say, okay, please do, please do. It should be granular. You have line items. You can't tell me the topic and say, this is the topic. You give me all the 10 line items. I'll pick and choose whether I allow you to use any of those or all of those or which ones of those. Consent should be freely given, well-informed consent, purpose-specific, unambiguous, non-partial, and granular for each and every service that you are providing me. Ask me for a consent. And of course, most important, revocable. Any day I think I don't need this service, I go to a form and say, I don't need it. Correct. Right? What is the role of data mapping with respect to consent management? So I'm mapping my data. I'm trying to identify what personal data I have. How am I processing it? Have I taken the consent of the person whose personal data I have? Right? So I'm collecting, processing, storing, sharing, deleting personal information, and I have to link it with the processing activities that I am doing, and therefore I also have to link it with the consents that I might have taken for these activities. Link consent with these activities. Validate where the consent is required and whether it is obtained or not. Not obtained, please obtain it now. Obtained, make an inventory. Respect consent management and make it a part of the data flow. So you make a data flow. You say, I collect this personal information, store it here, then process it like this here. This is my purpose of processing and this is how I give output. Okay. Did you take a consent at the time of collecting? Did you define the purpose? Storing is fine. You don't need a consent to ask which brand of storage you're going to use. Now you're processing it. Do you have a consent for that? If I say the example of opening a bank account and whether I want my checkbook to be couriered or not. So at the stage where I say data has flown and an account has been created and communications, account ID has been, account number of course, then account ID has been generated, which is the online login ID or customer ID, some bankers call them. And then I am creating a checkbook. Should I leave it in the branch? Should dispatch it to the branch or should I dispatch it to the customer directly? If it has to be dispatched to the customer directly, have I taken the consent of the customer to allow me to share his address with the third party who is going to execute the dispatch, right? So at the granular level of creating the process and your data maps, you map up where all consent is required. And then of course, then you automatically map up with who are the principals whose consent is already available with you, right? You map them across the systems, communication to be based on consent management, flowing granular so that the data flow helps it. Ensure that same consent policies are there with your third-party vendors who are processing on your behalf. Suppose the account opening and checkbook creation happens at a third party, like printing press, because they are printing the name of the customer. Then they should know that they are following up the consent mechanism. They're going to give the address. The printing party is going to give the address to the third-party dispatch or outside there, or create a single bundle to the branch for all the checkbooks to reach the branch and the customers can come and collect it. Integrate your consent management with your map so that every stage of your map you know about the consent, need, obtaining or not obtaining. Maintain the inventory of consent as good as maintaining the inventory of data, right? Perform clear-cut documentation of the consents that you have taken, a structured consent choices, link them with the categories, demonstrate your compliance with regular audits. So once you've done all these frameworks, compliance is automatically done. Data mapping helps even managing the expiry of a consent. Consent was given to you for 2 years. It's gone beyond 2 years. Validity. Allow easy withdrawal of consent. Please use data mapping and consent. Do perform real-time monitoring on the consent and ensure that you are reducing the risk of breach by keeping consent, or you are reducing the impact of breach by keeping consent near to the data map or to the data flow, so that in case it is required, you are easily able to pick up the consent and move on. So that's about consent with data mapping. I hope you like the content of my video. Please press the bell and like icon. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and share your feedback in the comment section. Thank you.